This is Alan Spencer again. This is my second commentary on this disc. You know, this is the first time I'm doing DVD commentary, so make sure to let me know how I'm doing. Just talk back to the TV. I can hear you. Here's our credit sequence again. You know what's interesting? The great TV shows always have memorable credit sequences, and now in current television, they don't have them anymore. They've alleviated, like, beginning and ending credits. They just start the show, and they run the credits underneath. They kind of try to jumpstart because of cable, because there are 8,000 channels, and they're worried about people channel surfing. So they try to hold their attention by alleviating the credits. And I think that's wrong. I really do. And, you know, but I also have my theory. I think they don't want to show the credits because they don't want you to know what the show is. They hope you'll miss the title. Because if you see it's something like,
I know what I'm doing.
You know, according to Jim, you'll run to the TV and turn it off and might hurt yourself, and then you'll sue the network. Because you'll say, get that off. Anyhow, this was a very popular episode called Witless, a parody of Witness, the movie Witness. It got a lot of press attention, and it had a particularly strong cast. And, you know, once again, you know, I'm looking at some names here. You know, this is a long time ago. A couple of these cast members are gone. I'll talk about them when they come on screen. And this one had a particularly strong writer. I forget his name. He did a very good job. It's directed by a wonderful man, Jackie Cooper. It was so funny when he was first brought on, the network was saying, we want young, hip directors. And, you know, it's like, well, I'm already the young person. Let me work with somebody else. I think the marriage of old and young work together yields great stuff. And then they saw what Jackie Cooper is doing. It's superb, wonderful director, and great experience and a great person. And you know what? Age is relative. Jackie Cooper is like really, really hip. Some of the people I know that are in their 20s are really, really square. And they tend to be Republicans. But that's another story. This actor, Basil Hoffman, I met on the set of the Mel Brooks produced movie My Favorite Year, written by a great writer named Norman Steinberg, who was a big help to my career. He's a great person. Now, this joke coming up offended animal rights activists, and I heard from them. They called and they wrote to the network, and and this is absurd. It's a joke. Come on, you know, that's not a real cat. And I remember talking to animal rights. They're upset saying you did that cat. And I said, it's just clearly not a real cat. And they said, why are you upset? Because I personally stuffed that cat, and I made sure that when I did it, it was properly, put to sleep, and I didn't harm it, and, you know, they didn't find that funny. And, you know, so many people, this episode had a lot of complaints, and they complained the network from various groups. So I got animal rights, and there's another one I'll tell you about later on. They were such hot buttons with the censors. I couldn't allow this mafia don to have an Italian name, so I had to call him Don Philip Sousa, I remember, as they just didn't want to offend with stereotypes and minorities and things like that. But, you know, it's hilarious. They don't want to do that, but it's okay for a man to sleep with his gun and talk to it. So, I mean, this was the wacky world. I drove the censors up the wall, basically, with this show. You know, I mean, it was just insane, you know, and a guy showering with sunglasses on, and they didn't know what to make of it. They'd give notes on Mr. Belvedere and Growing Pains, and they'd come to this and just not know what to say. And basically, I was somebody in a straitjacket they were dealing with, and, showering with the gun. I don't know. It was just the surreal world that we're in. But, you know, there was a lot of violence in this episode, and we caught some flack about it. I mean, you know, in comparison to all the things that are on TV now, and certainly with cable, it's no big deal. But in the family hour, there were a lot of hot buttons. And, you know, don't forget we had sponsors, and, you know, too bad the sponsors weren't ammo dumps, because then they wouldn't have trouble with any of this stuff. I mean, this was a gag involving, you know, Hammer taking target practice, and somebody inside there got offed. And they're just not used to death in sitcoms, of people getting shot. And so even though it was satirical, there was a body count. So, you know, unfortunately on other sitcoms like Friends and everything like that, there are not a lot of casualties. So that's what we were dealing with. This is kind of a Blake Edwards kind of run of assassins trying to take out Sledgehammer. It's obviously reminiscent of a Inspector Clouseau movie. And you notice how inconspicuous our villains are. You would never guess that they're up to no good the way they're dressed. They all go to the same uniform. They're Union, which is why. Oh, I love that. I love that little gesture here. I'm very fond of all the day players when I look at the show. People who play little parts, like this gent right here, who's a very cool actor, and this fellow as well, too. Because they all made a contribution to the show, and that's part of the reason I'm also happy it's coming out in DVD, so they can see their work. And everybody gets to look back at a show that hasn't been around for a while that thankfully people haven't forgotten and want to come out. Look at David, legitimately spilled that coffee. He's so good. He's so good how he does this stuff and inhabits that character. Now, this was the scene coming up where we lost a sponsor, and it was a big deal. because they were just very upset by it. This is not a new joke, but they, these hitmen did die, and we showed them dead, see, dead. And we lost a sponsor for it. The sponsor was a fast food giant, and they've killed people too, so I don't know why they had a problem with that. There's me doing a cameo then. That was before I discovered the wonders of a low-carb diet, which is basically, if you notice people walking around just eating a hamburger, there's no bun, there's no lettuce, they just walk around eating meat in their hand. And you go up to the drive window and they just put a hot flaming patty in your hand, and that's a low-carb diet. But what I don't understand is like the burger with the bun costs less than the low-carb one, so why not just order the burger with the bun and take the bun off? But, it's not Atkins approved, so obviously it has to be Atkins approved. There's a poster, it's a collector's item. Everybody wanted those in the set.
Word on the street,
they want Hammer dead or dead, and put up your wall, throw darts at it.
Did they succeed?
Look at David's attitude. He's so funny. He's so cool. What's interesting is I'm watching it with the sound off. Maybe you are too if you don't have a good TV or stereo speakers. And he's just amusing to watch with the sound off. This show had an appeal for kids. And so there was dumb stuff on it, very cartoonish Roadrunner things like this on there because they wanted to make sure that kids were engaged. And so that's why I did silly things like this that make me laugh. And it's stupid, but I don't know. That's where I was at then. I wanted to make sure kids enjoyed themselves. I'm still a kid. And I love this because he can't break the window. It's always so easy to do these things, and it's like, in movies and everything. That's funny. It's truth. It's very hard to break a window because I've tried to do it. When I was trying to leave an apartment of somebody that I was dating, and I couldn't get out that window fast enough. Because I'd stolen some possessions, but that's a long story. I really shouldn't be telling you these things and my experiences from internet dating. But I've sought help for that. Of course now, Anne-Marie always in control of the situation. Harrison just makes me laugh. I mean, Harrison's just a really cool fellow. He's a really nice guy. He's kind of zen. And he's just really calm, and then they yell action. All of a sudden he's just, hits these decibel levels. He is wonderful. David is just delightful. David is not afraid to be silly. And it's just funny when I look at him because David is just a classically trained actor. I mean, he was the find of the century for this part. There was nobody else I thought of for it, and nobody else that could play it like this. Yeah, a man who can do David Mamet and also be silly. And he has his feet in both worlds, and he is just great. What's interesting is some of the references that come up from the character of Sledgehammer looking at it now, because he'll often say things about Afghanistan and Beirut. There was one episode where he said something about Trunk says to him, Hammer, are you thinking what I'm thinking? And Hammer says, I'm thinking about invading Iraq. So I'll leave it to you to say, to wonder where we're at right now that this stuff has come to fruition. I am voting for Sledge in the election. I think Sledge in the last election voted for George W. Bush. He was in Florida. I think he voted for him 6 times, from what I understand. Because Hammer thinks, I think Hammer would like George W. Bush because that's how you solve the world's problems, basically. Just blow it up. Just blow everything up. And that takes care of it. If you could blow up hunger, that would be good. Here's Hammer leaving town. It's a very nice shot. I don't believe that's a stock shot. No, I think we shot that, actually. And an actor who's no longer with us shares this scene with David. A man's name is John Milford, who was actually one of the mighty Carson Arts players, had a long career, and he was doing a little guest star bit here. What I remember about this is the show hadn't debuted yet, and sometimes it's tough to be a guest star. You don't know the show, you don't know what it's about, you don't know the tone, and you're just kind of thrown into this cold water and left to your own. And David was really, really nice to this gentleman, because David was saying, I've been there. I've been the guy who's a guest star and has a few lines and doesn't know anybody, and the star isn't warm to me, or people don't know who I am and don't extend themselves. And he went out of his way to be nice to this fella and make him feel at home, and got a great performance out of him. David's doing a Brando thing here. He said he was doing kind of an On the Waterfront kind of Brando riff. And I don't know, this is a really, really cool scene. But mostly my memory of it is just how nice David was to the guest stars. I believe he continued to be that way up until the end of the show, because he remembered what it was like to be a guest star in somebody else's show. And as you can see, he really got along well with the actor. All the warmth shared between the two of them during that scene. I love that fight because it's just so goofy. I mean, to be fighting in a car like that. They always make fight seems like they've choreographed it. Action heroes look like they got together and rehearsed their fight before they actually do it. And here comes Louis Arquette and Anne Ryerson. Anne Ryerson's a very talented actress, comedian, and I believe she was in Second City with with David Rashi. They had a rapport, and she's kind of playing the Kelly McGillis character from us. And look at the focus there. We go into soft focus there. And it was the LA Weekly who did a review that was laughing about the cinematography in this episode. It looked like we put Vaseline on the lens. And I was amazed that they figured out that's what we did. That's exactly what we did. And it's a lens used by many top Hollywood actresses. I won't say their names, but they bring their own Vaseline and put on the lens before they shoot, especially their close-ups. But yeah, this is kind of the dream-like soft focus quality, making fun of the idyllic world of the Amish. Now, they weren't called Amish in this. I want to call them Hamish, but for some reason the censors wouldn't let me do Jewish jokes or something like that. And I called them Many Notes instead. They allowed that one for some reason. I couldn't figure out why they wouldn't let me, do a riff on the Amish where they said they want to offend the Amish. And I said, but how are you going to offend? They don't have TVs. How are they going to even know about this by the time they find out it'll be 3 years? I mean, it would be somebody sending them a letter. And who cares about offending the Amish? What are they going to do? I mean, how do they protest? Will they just stop churning butter for the day? I mean, they don't buy anything per se. Well, I guess they do buy things, but I mean, I don't know. What sponsors? What do they do? Write letters and withhold? I mean, I don't know how you would offend an Amish person, in all honesty. I got to work on that. That's my goal this year, to offend the Amish. I'm going to figure out a way, believe me. Maybe I'll dress as Death and walk around and scream in a high-pitched voice. Or maybe I'll show up and start speaking in Aramaic and lecture them about their lives. But and this actor is Louis Arquette, and this actor is no longer with us, and he was a wonderful, talented man, the son of Cliff Arquette, and he's the father of the Arquette clan, like David Arquette and Rosanna Arquette and Patricia Arquette. Very talented people. Another truly gifted actor, and I'm glad we're able to preserve one of his performances here, because he was a very nice person. I remember eating lunch with him in the set with Van Ryerson. You know what? We were shooting this late at night. That's an arc light out there because we had lost the light, and so that's kind of like the day for night thing that we're doing out there. We shoot long hours. These episodes were very ambitious. A lot of company moves, locations moving around. It was kind of crazy for a half hour. Usually those are set in the living room. We're all over the place. I wanted to go to Egypt in one episode, but they wouldn't allow it. This is a scene involving a cow, as you could tell. That's a real cow. What I'm fond of this is David does I had him do like a W.C. Fields thing. I make him watch W.C. Fields, and he does a hands that are reminiscent right there, like suffering sciatica. What I remember about this scene was that there was a reporter from the LA Times interviewing me on the set that day. And he didn't really want to interview me. He wanted to pitch ideas for the show. He wanted to write for the show. And I'm trying to do an interview, and he's like pitching to me. And then this cow basically took a dump, and then the reporter stepped in it accidentally. So that kind of summed up the day for him and me both. There's a cow milking itself. Lance Rubin's music, supervised by Danny Elfman, is really great for this montage. We shot that during lunch, this kind of thing, and people couldn't figure out how we were going to use that little footage, but I had in my head to do this montage because of the barn-raising scene in Witness. And it worked out quite well. We had to shoot it very fast. It was very ambitious to do all this stuff. We wanted a location in the Disney Ranch, which right now is I think it's still the Disney Ranch. It's probably under siege. This I enjoyed. David's reactions to the fact that he just shoveled the haystack directly behind him. And look at these takes and things he does. It's just so inventive. I just marvel at him. And lovable. This character's not likable in other hands. This is a strange character, and David makes it somehow endearing. And look at him flirting here, which is hilarious. It's just hilarious, this expression he does. This kind of Johnny Cool there, flirting with the nice Amish woman who has never had sex in her life, just like many people that I've dated. Well, at least they tell me that. And now here comes a very stupid joke, a very cheap joke, and a very obvious joke that, I don't know, makes me laugh. That's my idea of cerebral humor. That's very sophisticated right there. That's something to make it. That's good satire. That's something to make you think.
It's all right.
I mean, you have to be very perceptive to get something like that. And if you need me to explain it to you, please call at any time. This scene, people remember. A lot of people talked to me about this episode, and it just got a lot of attention. I'm very proud of the fact that the show week after week was unpredictable. You never knew where this character was going to go and what he's going to do. And, it was unusual for a half-hour sitcom to go on location and shoot all this stuff. That's like a body double. She was wearing this like latex outfit, and she wasn't really nude, but she looked nude. That's what she really looked like, actually. But Wore a total latex outfit. I'd like to have that outfit. Actually, it's probably fashionable to wear that now because all the paranoia. You got to wear latex all the time when you go to bed and take a bath. And here we rejoin DeRoe, Hammer checking in. Anne-Marie says the word many note in a very funny way. I mean, I didn't expect to laugh there. But she's a funny lady. She could just find funny things. She's very, very quirky, a great-looking, quirky person. And I'm going to hang around here for a while till things cool. One of the delights of, I guess, doing this DVD is seeing everybody again. And now we're all in each other's life. They're all living with me now. I know what I'm doing. Harrison's on my living room floor, and David's in the guest bedroom. And I don't know where Anne-Marie is sleeping. Maybe on the roof. So it's great. Once again, animal rights took offense at this. The black cat going out the window. As if it's real. As if it's real. It's like, come on. I mean, listen, I know abuse of animals is not funny, but I wasn't abusing them. It was very gently thrown out the window. Me? And it landed, and cats land on their feet, so come on, it's fine. But it's interesting because I'm abusing people into it. Nobody protested that. There are no people rights groups. Sledge so here is, he's asking the Mafia Don wants the hit, but it says what's the accountant actually to kill Sledge. This was kind of neat. Jackie Cooper wrote this neat little thing where you put these kind of reeds on a little box right directly in front of the camera and track behind them, put them in the forefront there. Big city like? In the foreground. It made a neat little effect. Those weren't really there. A little neat trick. This scene is interesting because in the wrong hands, the wrong actor, it could be offensive. But David just says everything with this myopian lightness, inviting an Amish woman to a topless bar because he says it's a great place to see. For good. And this scene has a kind of a warped charm between the two of them. And it also helped that David knew Anne Ryerson and they had a great rapport together. There are a lot of cheap jokes in this now when I look at it. There's one. There's another one. Are you all right? Look, at 3 a.m. you're writing, and what are you going to do? You come up with cheap stuff once in a while. But I'm proud of this joke because this was a joke I don't think you've heard before. I think people have done jokes like this since then, but they showed this joke in the commercial, and I would go around and various people in the industry cracked up at this one. And, keep in mind, in 1986, all this stuff was very edgy and really, really out there. Now it just looks like something you'd see at a movie and rated G. But it's basically, her saying she's never been with a man before, and Hammer said, neither have I. So then now this wouldn't be eye-opening. It'd be eye-opening if Hammer hadn't been with a man if you do the show right now. So that would be strange. He should be of man, women, and inanimate objects, actually. Here are the hitmen coming. Jackie Cooper did a great job directing this, a lot of production value, using crane shots and things like that. And this next shot is really neat. And it was a race against time to get all this stuff. It's amazing how little sunlight there is when you're shooting. And you have a lot to do. And like I said, these episodes are very ambitious as far as locations and moves and setups. I was also really proud of the score on this one that was supervised by the great Danny Elfman. And particularly coming up, there's a little section where you recognize kind of the Elfmanish rhythms and beat that sounds very much like his classic score for Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And this is where you're hearing it right there as Hammer is shooting his gun, and it's not making any sound because it doesn't have any bullets, which is a big hindrance when you're trying to shoot somebody. Either I'm deaf, it's very important always to have bullets. Basil Hoffman's expression here is hilarious. It's a dark. Have you seen my overnight bag? I really enjoyed, Danny supervising the early scores. He certainly got busy with other things and had to move on, but Danny Elfman is a great talent, and I'm really pleased that he wrote the theme. And that's something I'm very, very fond of, that Danny Elfman made a contribution to the show. Now, this is an example of like a scene I always wanted to see, because often in satire or parody of comedy, all you have to do is kind of show the truth. It's like in Raiders of the Lost Ark when Indiana Jones, that gentleman had the saber. Instead of fighting him, he just shot him. Countless times in movies, people are knocked out by the butt of a gun, and they fall down there unconscious. And that's not what would happen. This is what would happen. It hurts. I don't know how it's possible to hit somebody and knock them unconscious. It would take a lot. And then Hammer gets a bottle, and it hurts. And the guy doing it was great. He's a stuntman named Carl. I forget his exact last name. I don't want to mispronounce it because he's stuntman. That means he would ring my doorbell and do stunts on my face. But he was great, really funny. Great stunt people on this, supervised by Ed Ulrich. It was so funny because the network notes on this were basically absurd. I mean, they were doing their best to get a handle on this show. And they were just saying, this is funny. David rides piggyback. He's still trying to knock him out. You can't do it. It's very hard to knock a person out. I'd like to, the scene I'd like to do, I'd like to show James Bond impotent just for once. Wouldn't that be great if he gets into bed with somebody and just says, I'm sorry, I have a lot in my mind. I'm trying to save the world. I didn't get enough sleep. And maybe Q gave me this pill. Maybe this will help. But it has to. I need an hour. Can you come back in an hour before it kicks in? This offended people. I got letters in this, a male nurse joke, and we got letters from male nurses who were really upset. So, I guess I did my job. But this offended the network. Most of all, what's coming up, they said this sent a horrible message to everybody that the Amish could be turned into militants. And that look what Hammer did to them. And they said, this is an awful message you're sending, which meant I did my job.
I thought violence was against your way of
life.
life.
Here's a dated reference. He says, this is the 80s. Like I said, I would do these topical references. I didn't foresee that, over 15 years later, I'm sitting here recording this commentary.
To put a price on my head.
In the future, I'll leave a blank and not put years in and things like that. But that's all right, because it's kind of, a moment in time there, and it's all right that we show the expressions are so funny. But it was hilarious to have these arguments with the network.
I got to make a special delivery.
It was such a goofy thing to be talking about. How can you take this seriously? A message. Look at that. I mean, it's just absurd. But they said the Amish, and they said, this is a sad commentary. That's what they said. Well, I said, isn't that the point? Isn't that the point? So, yes, here we go. Here we go. This developed to Don Philip Sousa.
There's no cufflinks. I just
and you can guess what's in here.
Open it up.
It's a surprise. There was some sort of music here that was evocative of the 1960s Batman series a little bit. This is kind of a Batman-style fight. If you look at it, you can almost imagine words being superimposed like zoom, bap, and pow, all that kind of stuff, which would be neat. The kick there. And, of course, in the nick of time, wrap it up, boys. There's Thoreau. She was waiting outside the door until he was done with the fight, and then she comes in.
$1 million.
And, of course, now here's this. Look how pretty she is there. Emery, look how pretty David is. Look how well lit that is. And look at that gorgeous tie.
This money.
That tie's louder than his gun.
I'm going to put it to good use.
And,
Hammer, you can't keep that money. We need it for evidence.
This is kind of an example of irony.
I'm not going to press charges.
Because Hammer is going to take this money and he's going to settle out of court, is basically what he says. So, I don't know. And I see, not all the cats were hurt.
Came back
so they didn't give me credit for that, showing one sitting on the chair. They saved one.
It is not necessary.
So I wanted to curse during this one. I have the guy say son of a bitch, but instead we had to say son of a biscuit. Isn't it funny now? They wouldn't blink. They say son of a bitch all the time. They curse in all the shows. I mean, they even do it at the station break, like NYPD. We'll be right effing back after this effing commercial. Brought to you in effing color. But now you couldn't curse there, and kids were watching it. But that's all right. I like the fact that kids were into this because I felt it was a very educational show. It showed them the power of law enforcement, the importance of having guns that were loaded, and teaching Amish people how to shoot and defend themselves in our modern world. I mean, these are good messages. If I have kids, I would make them watch this show and really pay attention. I get letters from kids, which was amazing. They said they were teased in school and bullied, and they said they would wear sunglasses and made paper guns and would shoot at their bullies. And some of these people, one of them said he became a cop, and now he shoots people with a real gun. So I'm very proud I inspired him. The influence that TV has is quite wonderful. Now, I never heard from bird groups about that one, maybe because there are no birds in there. But it was nice. I was very proud that Hammer could give the Amish a migraine. We're getting other menus. And there's a little crane shot, and we dissolved out of it there. Should have held on it more. And that's the episode. Leonard B. Stern. I was so proud that Leonard Stern, who guided Get Smart, came aboard as a creative consultant. He's like my other father. He's a wonderful man, and I love him so much. I hope he's listening to this, because Leonard, I love you. And all these people, once again, I have great fondness for, and I owe some of them money, and I'll try to get that to them before I do commentary in the next episode.
No civilians. Almost perfect, Captain Trump. 28 seconds exactly.
28 seconds, Hammer. You're gonna have a difficult time qualifying as fastest gun this year.
Just remember who you're talking to, Captain. I was born with a gun in my hand. The chief reason why I could never get babysitters.
Next up, Inspector Sledge Hammer. Let me out of here. Now, come on.
Is that a silencer?
No, it's not a silencer. This little doodad is my own invention. I call it a loudener.
A loud. Hammer, you were not supposed to shoot all the targets. Just the bad guys.
Right. I don't know where my head's at.
Results are in. Inspector Hammer is the winner with 27 seconds in speed, 116.9 in accuracy, and a 0 in judgment. This is 2 seconds off the all-time record. Congratulations, Hammer.
Way to go, Hammer. Just admit it, Captain. There's no one alive who is better with a gun than me. And if there were, whoever it is would still be alive. See what I'm saying?
Hammer, you're the only man I know who can't even win gracefully.
Well, I can't help it if my father was the greatest sharpshooter of all time. You know, he taught me that a gun is a dangerous weapon. And if used properly, can be a wonderful source of entertainment.
Hammer!
Shoot everything that moves.
Hammer! May I remind you, you still haven't broken the all-time departmental record held by John Cogan.
Oh, yeah? That record should have been struck from the books years ago. I hate the mention of his name.
I know. That's why I brought it up.
Hammer!
Thoreau, is that you?
Of course it's me. Now listen.
What is with this getup? What are you dating a congressman or something?
They called me to go undercover last night. I've been posing as a call girl, all right?
Well, that's about as far undercover as you can go.
Hammer, please, this is important. A sleazy lowlife has been spreading rumors in the city. He said someone is planning to break out of prison and he's coming to town to kill you.
Who? What? When? Where? How? Why? Well, probably 100 reasons why.
All I know is the snitch is willing to give us all the information he has for a price. Here's the information. Hold this. Okay, I got it. Be at the last payphone on the right in the lobby at the Regal Ambassador Hotel in 20 minutes. He'll call you there.
The Regal Ambassador Hotel? I thought you said he was a lowlife.
Maybe he's trying to move up in the world.
Yeah, become a better class of scum. Hello? Hello?
Is that you, Sledgehammer?
Yeah. Look, I'm sorry I'm late.
Look, I'm taking a big risk here. Stay inconspicuous and try not to draw attention to yourself.
Okay.
What time is your flight?
3:30. Okay. Now tell me where you are right now.
I'm at the other end of the phone bank.
Don't look at me! All right. Now what's this information you got for me?
This guy's busting out of prison and he's coming to kill you. What's that worth to you, Hammer?
Just tell me how much.
5,000.
Why, you egg-sucking leech.
Lower your voice. Don't look at me. Hey, it's Scale. Check the book. We're union now, pal.
Listen, I can't get a hold of that kind of money. I'm gonna have to check with my superior.
Hurry up. We haven't got much time.
Yes, Sergeant.
Yeah, this is Hammer. Get me Trump, pronto.
I think he went to Tino's for lunch. Let me check. Hold on.
Hey! What's going on?
I think the captain went to lunch, so I'm gonna try him at the restaurant.
telephone is out of order. If you want to reach us, please call.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm calling the restaurant.
Don't reject it! Wait!
Inspector Hammer? Inspector?
What?
Sorry, sir, I just found out the captain went home for lunch. But hang on, he could be back at any moment.
Oh, great. This is great. I'll call him at home.
This is Captain Trunk. I can't come to the phone right now, so leave a message. If this is you, Hammer, never call me again at home.
Look, I'm getting impatient.
Wait.
Inspector, the captain just walked in.
Good.
Inspector?
Put him on.
What's going on, Hammer?
Captain, listen. I need you to authorize a $25,000 payment to an informer.
25,000. Oh, that's right, they went union. What's it for, Hammer?
For information! To prevent someone from killing me.
I get it.
Hey! What's it gonna be?
Look!
Deposit 35 cents.
Listen, you little bloodsucker, I've had enough. I'm giving you $2,000 and that's it.
Well, couldn't you at least contribute to my dental plan?
Why should I? You're not gonna have any teeth in your mouth if you don't start talking right away. Now, when is this prison break supposed to happen?
Woody! Right now!
Hey, long legs. Is it hot enough for you?
Hurry up, doll! Look under the mat!
I brought all your things just like you said. It's nice to see you.
Come here, you. Now get out of here. I got a cop to kill.
You can't leave me here. It's 130 degrees.
Yeah, but it's a dry heat.
Hammer, the prisoner just escaped during transfer.
I know, by the time the stool he talked to was old news. Who is he? Do I know this slimeball?
He hasn't been identified yet.
We switch you now to an on-the-scene interview. Here now is David King.
I'm David King, standing inside a prison bus that was hijacked not more than 10 minutes ago. Sir, you've escaped prison, commandeered an armored bus filled with weapons, and abandoned a very attractive woman in the desert. What's next?
I want to see Europe. Give me that microphone, you polyester piece of trash. I'm free. I'm free at last. And I'm going to tear this stinking city apart until my old friend Sledgehammer joins me for a little reunion. One-on-one. A showdown. Just like the old days. You know the place, Sledge. Are you watching, Hammer? Please. You owe it to me. Let me kill you! And I promise I'll never, ever do it again!
This is David King saying goodbye.
Say goodbye forever, you insect!
My God, Hammer, you know that man?
Yeah. I know him.
Who on earth is he?
His name is John Cogan.
Yeah, he and Hammer go way back.
The man is a wild animal. Why on earth would he want to kill you?
Simple. I was his best friend. Oh, come on, Captain. Stop pussyfooting around. I'll be happy to go mano a mano with Kogan.
Let me tell you something, Hammer. It is not the policy of my precinct to give in to the demands of criminals.
Well, I'm always happy to take requests.
No, Hammer. Not while you're under my command.
All right, then suspend me. I'll act as a private citizen. You won't be held responsible.
No, Hammer. I see what you're trying to do. I didn't want you on the streets. So I'm keeping you on the force. I'm going to transfer you for the time being to personnel.
Personnel?
That's right.
Kogan's gonna level this entire city. I know this man. He is bad. His childhood goal was to be an astronaut. He wanted to be the first man to kill somebody on the moon.
Hammer, it's one individual on a bus. How much damage can he do?
Escaped convict John Kogan continues his cross-country tour of terror. While Kogan moves from city to city, coast to coast, a fearful public waits breathlessly, not knowing how, why, where, or when this enemy will strike next. John Kogan, coming to a city near you soon.
He's broken through the roadblock, sir.
What about the SWAT team?
Wiped out.
No, National Guard?
They refuse to get involved.
Come on, Captain. You gotta fight fire with fire. Let me be a bus stop.
No, Hammer.
Put me on suspension.
Absolutely not, Hammer.
Then I have no choice but to make you.
Hammer, don't even try it. No, Hammer.
This should do it. Do your duty. Put me on suspension.
Hammer, you're not even close.
Well, this should work. Gross insubordination, right?
Hammer! There is nothing you can do to make me put you on suspension. Now get out of my office!
Hey, Hammer, any more of your acquaintances bust out of prison today?
Hammer, you got a phone call from your old friend, Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, well, I think he's chicken. You gotta make a movie about him. Call it The Color Yellow.
I'm not chicken. Trunk is. He's afraid of what I'd do if I went one-on-one with Kogan. I'd shoot him. I'd shoot all of you. If I didn't have so much filing to do.
Hammer! I want those files on my desk now!
Think about this, Hammer. Don't do it. Hammer.
How's that for service? I'm in trouble, right?
I have no other choice, Hammer. You're on suspension. Are you happy?
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. This means a lot to me.
Get out.
Now I can do what I do best.
I won't be responsible. I'm not going to be responsible for what happens out there, Hammer! What are y'all spinning around about? Get to work!
Yes, sir.
Okay.
What do you want?
Well, sir, I just wondered why you don't want Hammer to go. Are you afraid he's going to kill Kogan?
On the contrary, Doro, Kogan will kill Hammer. He's a faster gun than Hammer will ever be.
What? Are you absolutely sure?
Kogan was Hammer's first partner. They knew each other when they were kids. They were like brothers.
Put that on the air. Tell Kogan I'll meet him at the place he mentioned. For a showdown.
Come on, partner. It's time for a showdown. At the count of 3, go for your gun. 1, 2, 3. Got you again, Sledgy, 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 Sledgy.
Sledge? Sledge?
What?
What's the matter? You're sweating.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty hot in here.
You know, Trunk told me that Kogan was your partner. What happened?
It's a long story. We grew up together. We were best friends. He went bad. Well, I guess it's not a long story. We joined the police academy together. We were partners. That was before I was made inspector.
How did he end up in prison?
I hunted him down and I put him there. All for that day when he betrayed me and the badge.
Take it easy, will ya? I'm sure that if we talk about this, we can work something out.
Shut up, dirtbag.
No. Listen, what are you guys making 1 year? Nothing, right? You see this groovy suit? This suit is $400.
Are you offering us a bribe?
No, I'm offering you my suit. Naturally, I'm offering you a bribe, you idiot.
Don't be ridiculous. You can't bribe us.
Wait a minute. How much? 10 grand.
John, what are you doing? You take a fall for a lousy 10 grand?
Of course not. Make it 12. Thanks, Sledge. Oh, sure. Anything. I just don't want to miss happy hour.
Logan, this is illegal.
So is this. You know what your problem is, Hammer? You're too good. There are no heroes in this world, man. And there never were. Come on.
I can't do it. So I guess it's just you and me from now on, huh?
What I don't understand is if you're going after Kogan, what are you doing here?
I gotta sharpen my skills. See, I grew up around carnivals, and this peace and quiet helps me to relax.
Trunk told me your father was a sharpshooter in the circus.
Trunk told you that?
Yeah.
You think it's funny?
No, I don't think it's funny.
When my dad died, he left me two things. My name and my compadre right here.
Impress the little lady. Beat that, Dan. And win a prize.
Dan, do you remember me? Sledge Hammer.
Holy catfish. Little Sledgehammer. Jack's boy. Well, I'll be.
Duro, next to my dad, Dan was the greatest sharpshooter of all time. Well, you were.
There ain't much call for a sharpshooter these days.
Look, I hate to bother you, but do you remember that death-defying trick my dad used to do?
Do I? When I saw him perform that trick, he left the audience speechless.
How many times did he do it?
Just once.
Dad, I need to know how that trick is done.
I promised your daddy I'd never tell. I mean, it was a solemn promise.
I understand.
But, and no, wait a minute, come back. If your daddy lived, he'd have told you.
What is this place?
We used to play here as kids.
Really think he's gonna show?
I guess so.
Long time no see, Sledge. She a gift for me?
She's my new partner. An honest cop. You better step back, Duro. And if I don't walk away from this, you promise me one thing.
What's that?
You'll tell Trunk I won't be in the morning.
Don't worry, baby. I'll give you a ride home later. You know, Sledge, you and I are really a lot alike. Don't you think so?
No, Kogan. I got a badge.
Yeah? Well, I got a bus. What makes you think you're better than me?
I don't know. I dress better. What's the difference? You're here to try to kill me, right?
I'm not here to try. I'm gonna kill you.
Go ahead. Make my day.
You're the disease. I'm the cure.
May the force be with you. Forget the cliches. Let's get this over with.
Remember this game, Sledgy? I used to make you sweat pretty good.
Hey, you're supposed to shoot me, not my gun. Hey, quit shooting my gun! You want to kill me? Kill me.
Okay. With my last bullet, I'm gonna blow you away. Now, what again?
A loser never wins.
Thank you, Dad.
That's amazing.
Enough hype, Duro. Here. Well, why don't you follow me back to headquarters, huh?
You better put Kogan somewhere where you can keep your eye on him.
I will.
Well, congratulations, Hammer. First for being taken off suspension, and second for becoming the fastest gun in the department.
Yeah, you know how I feel about these things. I guess I really owe this to you, huh?
Oh, thank you, Hammer. Very nice of you. And I owe this to you.
Captain, that was excessively violent and completely unnecessary. I love that. I love when that happens. When you, break something or, I mean, I love to see it hit. You see how it blew up? Did you get into it?
Hammer, have you ever seriously thought about taking up meditation? It might control your aggressive tendencies.
What are you, brain dead? What was that, Duro?
Sledge, look, trouble.
Why don't these deadbeats get off the street and get jobs?
Stand there and...
Police officer, what's going on?
That man up there, he says he's gonna jump.
I'll get a bullhorn and try and talk him down.
No, I can handle it.
Hammer!
Another life saved. And I still have one bullet left. Listen, my bank is just around the corner. Can we stop? I'll get some cash, and then you can buy me breakfast.
Have a nice day.
So just take a second.
Transaction cannot be processed at this time due to insufficient funds.
Listen, sucker. You need some reprogramming.
Hammer, please! Blowing away this machine's not going to solve anything. Now let's go inside and straighten this out like civil human beings. Thank you.
Out.
I'm saying this for the third and last time. We are foreclosing on your home. You have 3 days to pack up and vacate said premises. What are you, deaf? Oh, and don't forget your free banking money. Now remember, 3 days. How may I help you?
Well, Hal 9000 out there tells me I have insufficient funds in my account. The thing is screwed up.
I'm sorry, sir. Those machines never make mistakes.
Look, I made a deposit 2 days ago. I want my money.
All right, sir. I'll check it out. Your friend's high-strung, isn't he? Your name, please?
Sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer. Where were you born? A tool shed?
You think that's funny? You can do better than that. You see, I'm not as easy an audience as the old lady. So go ahead, make me laugh, or I'll have you in stitches.
Hammer, let him go. Remember what I said? Civil human being.
All right. I do want one of those bank bunnies.
Freeze! This is the holdup. Now, everybody, put your hands on your head or I'll blow them away.
Then you'll have no place to put your hands.
Back up! Up, back up!
Come on. Hey, kid. I thought I told you to put your hands on top of your head.
I can't, mister. I'm holding my piggy bank. Mom!
Now you're not holding nothing.
That yogurt-sucking mutant. I'm gonna close his account.
Get out of my way.
My gun was in that purse.
Move over.
Come on, Cliff, hurry up.
I thought I told you not to use first names, Lou.
Sorry.
Hammer, hold off. There are 2 of them.
You're right. And I only have 1 bullet left. But don't ever touch my hand when I'm going for my gun!
Only a very disturbed person would say something like that.
Hey, look, pal. Huh? Spending money for Rio.
Gotta do something.
I know. My arms are cramping up. There must be a silent alarm around here somewhere. Hit the silent alarm. Hit the silent alarm. Why don't you hit the silent alarm?
Because we don't have a silent alarm, sir.
Get out of the way.
Cops. And they're multiplying. Wow. How'd they get here so fast?
There's a donut shop around the corner.
Quickly, brief me on the situation.
2 armed gunmen are holding about a dozen civilian hostages, and I think Inspector Sledgehammer's inside.
Why do you say that?
Isn't that his car?
That's it, all right. Oh, those poor people.
The hostages, sir?
No, the robbers.
Here, folks, is the man who set off the alarm. A regular hero.
Oh, I wouldn't call myself a hero. That's a word that's bandied about a lot.
Shut up, wimp.
I'd just say Concerned citizen.
Look, I'm just itching to blow you away.
I know the feeling.
So, don't push me. Or you'll pay, understand? Now say yes. No. Say yes, sir.
Yes. Sir. Don't worry, DeRoe. It didn't count. I had my fingers crossed.
How's it coming with that phone line?
We're hooked up, sir. No. I want Golden Boy to answer it. He's gonna be my new secretary.
Well, my shorthand isn't really up to snuff.
Just answer the phone, wimp. Pick it up.
Second National Bank. Hostage speaking.
Hammer, this is Trunk. Have they heard anyone?
No,
Have you heard anyone?
not yet.
Hammer, listen, I don't want you to endanger any of those people's lives. You understand me? Now put one of the slimy thugs on.
Slimy thug. It's the police. For you. And don't tie it up too long. Because
Get over there, wise guy. Yep. What?
Listen, this is Captain Trunk. Why don't you come on out and give yourselves up? Let's end this thing peacefully.
What do you think, we're fools? We step outside, you blow us away. I saw a dog day afternoon.
Now listen, that's not gonna happen. I give you my word. As a show of good faith, why don't you send some of the hostages out?
Great idea. I'll send them out. In body bags, pig.
here's your coffee. Sir.
Thanks, sweetheart.
This guy's dead meat. One bullet, two scumsuckers. Decisions, huh? I just have to figure out how to do it.
Do what?
Get him to stand in single file.
Hey, mister, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I'm hungry too. Yeah, we're hungry too.
Okay. We'll get some food. Everybody like pizza?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I am actually on a rather strict macrobiotic diet. Well, unless it's a pepperoni, because in that case, that's another little thing. I love any kind of, or fish. It doesn't, pizza would be great.
Okay, Greg, you know what to do.
He's clean.
All right. Now take those pizzas and put them on that desk. Nice and slow. You ask for pizza, they send you a guy with a gun. He's a cop!
Well, not necessarily. The competition between pizza joints is fierce.
Shut the heck up. Get up. Listen, pig. You tell Trunk we want a plane out of here. If he doesn't agree in 2 minutes, I'm killing somebody. Now out! Now I need a volunteer.
Well, I think we all know who the volunteer is, don't we? Is there really any question? I don't think so.
Well, it figures that our hero would volunteer to be the first one to go.
What did I tell you?
I've been waiting to do this all day. Come on down.
Stop. I'm a police officer. I should be in that chair, not him. Shoot me first.
Now, wait a minute, lady. I volunteered.
Turn around. right, get in the chair.
Here's your chance, Hammer. Take a shot.
Move! Well, sissy, looks like this foxy cop just saved your life. She's more of a man than you are. Move. Cover. Relax.
Attention in there. We will meet your demand.
All right! We're all free! We're on our way to Rio! You thought I was a fool, but we're big now,
Yeah, we want to go now.
Boy, if this keeps up, I'm gonna have to take a cold shower. Hey, where do you think you're going, sweet lips?
You know, if there's anything I hate worse than a cop, it's a chick who's a cop.
What have you got against cops anyway?
My old lady was a cop. My mother, the cop. Do you know what it feels like to be breastfed by a person who's wearing a shoulder holster?
So robbing banks and abusing people is your sad, demented way of getting back at your mother.
Yeah. Maybe you're right. No, I never really opened up to anyone before. It's rather ironic that I must shoot you now, cop.
Listen, creep. Take the advice of a friend. You got what you want. You're almost out of here. Don't blow it by doing something stupid.
Yeah. Maybe you're right. But don't ever touch my head when I'm going for my gun!
Secure the bus. Hurry up.
All right. Listen up in there, Toads. Your transportation has arrived. I say again, your transportation has arrived.
I ain't holding hands with another guy.
Just do it, jerk. All right, come on, move out. Come on, move. Come on. Move it. Keep going. That's good. Come on, out. Come on, move it. Come on, don't crowd me. That's right, move. Come on, let's go, come on. Wait a minute.
I can't believe it, Captain.
What?
Inspector Hammer's holding hands with another man.
It's very interesting, Mayjoy.
Run, kid, run! Get in the bus! Hey, we're almost home free, Lou, huh? Your sister can have that operation now. Drive like your life depended on it, baby. Because it does.
Do you mind? You're blocking the rear view.
Get that plane as far away from the terminal as you possibly can.
Right,
Sir?
Captain.
I don't want to second guess you, but to just give in to them like this.
Mayjoy, they've got a plane, they've got a tank full of fuel, but no one ever said anything about a pilot.
Your buddy mentioned something about your sister needing an operation. It's too bad.
Yeah, it's tough. She's only 16. I never really thought her nose was that big.
You take one down, pass it around. 97 bottles of beer on the wall. 97 bottles.
All of you, shut up already. We're here.
Hammer, have you noticed there's something very important missing from this plane?
Those teeny little liquor bottles.
There's no pilot.
Everything's under control, Chief. It's just a matter of time. They're not going anywhere.
No pilot, huh?
I didn't see a pilot get on board. Who's flying this plane?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your pilot, Cliff, speaking.
Does that answer your question?
Oh, please, please, help me. I'm scared.
Get off.
You enjoyed that, didn't you, Duro? Come on, just a little.
Get to the cockpit, Hammer.
Hi, honey. I'm home. Flight's canceled, maggot.
Who do you think you are?
I'm Inspector Sledgehammer.
You're with the police department?
No. No, I am the police department. Now take it down. Let's take the plane down.
Down?
Yeah, that's right.
No problem.
Painful, right? Wow. This is for that little kid's piggy bank. And this is for hitting me. And this is for calling me names. And this is for ordering pizza. And this is for making me hold hands with another guy.
What was that for?
That was gratuitous. All right. Hold your applause till the end. Now sit back and relax. We should be crashing in about 3 minutes.
What is crashing? Hey, what do you mean? Hey.
Duro, get out of here. The cockpit is for men only.
What do you want me to do? Serve coffee?
I'll take mine black. No sugar. That makes me jumpy. Just black. Ah. Whoa.
I'm trying to explain to you, I've had 1,800 hours of solo flight experience.
Hey, that's not that much.
All our fuel's been dumped.
I hate when that happens.
Our only choice now is to make a crash landing. You better tell the others. And try and sound positive.
So what's positive? That not all of us are going to hell? Okay, listen up, people. I got good news for everybody who bought flight insurance.
I didn't say it.
About your flying, but your crashing is great. That was terrific.
Let's see if we have any casualties.
Right.
Stay back or I'll cut you.
Where are we? You know, it's true. You are safer in a plane than on a highway. This freak better be fixed by now.
Your personal ID number has been discontinued. This card is no longer valid.
Remember that last bullet? Use it.
Hey, buddy, I told you 3 times there's no smoking permitted in this area.
Stuff it, cop. Why don't you make me put it out? I can smoke any time I want to.
Not when it's against the law. Personally, the only kind of smoking I approve of comes from the barrel of a gun.
Hammer, you came within an inch of that man's face.
I know. I must be pulling to the left.
Hammer, I just got a call from the school board. It seems they've got a problem.
Wait. Aren't you going to yell at me for shooting a cigar out of that guy's mouth?
What's the point?
It's using psychology on me.
As I was saying, the board just called. It seems they've got a problem with gangs at one of the schools in our district. It is total chaos over there. The kids aren't learning anything. The teachers are afraid to come to work. It is utter hell.
How's the food?
Hammer, I'm talking about Lloyd H. Langram Memorial High School.
Oh, I've heard of Langram High. When did it become Memorial?
About 10 minutes ago. Now, the board is asking for help from one of our law enforcement officials. And they've specifically requested you, Hammer.
Now, wait a minute. I don't want to babysit for some wimpy, runny-nosed zit faces.
Haven't they tried any alternatives? What about that Straighten Out program where convicts warn youths about prison life?
They brought prisoners in to speak at the school last month. The kids aided them in making an escape.
Oh.
Now, these animals are violent, destructive, and they have no respect for authority.
Don't worry, Captain. I won't be suckered in by their virtues. Besides, we're talking about kids here. I mean, how bad can they be?
Hey, dude, that's our spot. Move! Get out! Shoot!
Come on.
Daddy, we're leaving. Like the truck jacket.
I don't think it'd hurt you to miss lunch today, Porky.
Will not talk in class.
Well, good. Yeah, I'm glad to see some attempt at discipline around here.
Oh, no. They're making me write this 100 times.
What? What kind of teacher are you?
I forget. I haven't taught in years. But they do bring me an apple every day.
I've seen enough.
Hammer down!
Good morning, boys and girls. Now I'd like everybody to take a seat. Pronto! All right, you in the back. Come on, sit down.
Okay. Anything you say?
All right, listen up. I'm Inspector Sledgehammer, and this is my gun.
Another cop? We had a SWAT team in here yesterday.
Hey, Fox. I'm Turk.
Hey, Turk.
Hey, Turk.
I'm Detective Dory DeRoe.
Baby, you ain't nothing to me but a badge and legs.
Yeah.
Hey, truant. You're late.
Hey, give me a break, all right? Had to jump bail to get here.
Son, that's no excuse for tardiness.
My old lady didn't wake me up, all right?
Your mother?
No, my old lady.
You think you're tough, don't you? You want to go through puberty again? Okay, just take a seat. Junior slimeball.
Whatever you say.
All right, listen up. You kids have been getting away with murder.
What do you mean getting away? I did 2 years. Yeah.
It's time you students got a little education. Now, I may not read a criminal his rights, but at least I know how to read.
Yeah? What's your favorite book?
War and Peace. The first half. Where do you think you're going?
The track.
Are you on the track team?
No, I got a bet on the 5th race.
Well, class isn't over yet, ragweed.
It is for us. We run this school.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shake you guys down for weapons. By your ankles!
Hammer, you can't do that. Adolescents have special rights. They're underage.
You mean I have to wait until he's 18 before I throw him off a roof?
Oh, I'm almost finished.
Will you stop that?
Oh.
Hammer, what's going on at that school? You've made over $1,000 in requisitions. What's all this stuff for?
Hey, I had to get some teaching aids. You know.
Sledge, I did a check of the license plates of that limo we saw at the school. Vehicle's registered to a well-known racketeer named Ralph Roscoe.
Ralph Roscoe. Probably a visitor for career day.
Hey, knock it off!
Now, look, I was sitting there.
I'm telling you.
Hello, boys.
Hello, Mr. Roscoe.
Hey, Mr. Roscoe, how's it going?
Looking nice today. Hey, car's all ready.
Good. Here's your remuneration.
What's that?
Didn't you learn anything in school today?
No.
Good. Keep it that way.
A cop named Sledgehammer came to speak to our class today.
Sledgehammer, the flaky cop who yaks to his gun?
Yeah.
That's right. We told him to take a hike.
Well, you're good boys. Just like your old pal Whitey here. He's my driver now.
Yeah. All right.
I can always use smart boys like you in my organization.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Roscoe. Yeah.
Hey, move out of the way, man!
Maybe some of you junior scum can't read, so I'll tell you what the sign says. Principal.
Hey, I bet with a little run and start we could flatten this flatfoot.
Do it, Turk.
I wouldn't back up if I were you.
Oh, yeah? Hey, what the? Damn! What's with you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, I was blocking the sign. No, if you'd have, I don't know where my head is at.
Hey,
move it. Get in the way. Hey, watch out.
Good morning, grease heads. Before you enter the class, I'm going to search you for weapons.
Not without cause. You're never gonna know whether we got weapons or not. You can't lay a finger on us. What's this?
All right, teen vermin. Empty your pockets right here. Come on, let's see it. Come on! Must have lost 30 pounds, Butterball. All right, hold it, creep. Oh, I'm sorry, miss. You know, once those are removed, you'll find your teeth are good and straight. Orthodontia is good. Go ahead. All right, attention, miniature misfits. I am your substitute teacher. Mr. Hammer. Ooh, I gotta clip my nails.
Hey, where's our regular teacher?
He took an easier assignment. As a janitor at Chernobyl, you have impeded the learning process for the last time. You are now going to learn something. We're going to start with the basics. That's not how you spell it. Today, you die. Maggot. Now, that's the way you threaten somebody with good grammar. All right. Let's move on to the evolution of mankind. Modern man. Caveman. The missing link. Turk, can you prove you're a Homo sapien?
I'm normal. I know plenty of girls. That's it, Hammer. I ain't taking no more of you. You're pretty big with a gun. How are you with your fists?
Don't expect that sweet talk to gain you any brownie points.
Tear 'em apart, Turk. Come on, Turk. Remember, you can't touch me. I'm a student.
You keep this up, Turk, and you're going to be a shoo-in for class clown. Well, at least you're learning to dot your I's. Thanks for cleaning off my desk, Turk. You're becoming a regular little teacher's helper.
Nobody makes a fool of Turk.
Too late. It's already happened, kid.
Get him, Turk! I'm gonna get that guy.
Turk, maybe we should just let it be. He is a cop.
Cop or no cop, he's dead meat.
There's no doubt about it, Captain. That's Roscoe and his thugs leaving the grounds of Langram High.
Good work, Doro. Why is Roscoe running a car ring out of a high school?
Cheap labor?
Where have you been, Hammer? I expected you 2 hours ago.
I had to take the bus.
Bus? What were you doing on the bus? Where's your car?
It disappeared, okay?
Somebody stole Hammer's car.
Well, don't worry. I got a pretty good hunch where it is. The Deucers have graduated to auto theft.
Hammer, yours isn't the first car they've stolen. They're working for Roscoe. Give up on those kids.
Doro, I'm surprised at you. Your instincts are usually so nurturing and caring.
Hammer, they're rotten apples. They're hopeless.
Hopeless? Yeah? Well, I knew another kid that was hopeless. He made it tough on everybody in school. He was a bully, so busy proving how tough he was, he didn't care what he did to anybody. He ran the school ground. He disrupted the classroom.
And I suppose you took care of him.
No. You see, that bully was me. But I learned a lesson. If someone gives these kids the proper guidance, they can do wrong for the right reasons. All right, forget it. No, just forget it. I'll take care of it myself, all right? I don't need your help. I don't need anybody's help. Doro, could you give me a ride to the school? Because kids stole my car.
Did you have a nice walk this morning, Inspector?
Poor Hammer. I remember how bad I felt when my mom's car was stolen.
Oh, yeah? How long did it take you to give it back, you onion-sucking pizza face?
Not here, Turk.
Oh, listen, maggot, you still got time to straighten out. Don't you see that? You can be good people on the side of bad, or bad people on the side of good. Or bad on the side of bad, or good on the side of good. The choice is clear.
Hammer, you weird.
All right, get your stuff together. We're taking a little field trip down to the precinct.
Hey, we can't go. We ain't got no notes from our mothers.
No problem. You're all under arrest. Welcome to the precinct, fellas. Now, you can just sort of think of this as a kind of a club med for scum.
Come on, cop! Try to lock me up! I want to kill people!
What's wrong with him?
Too much caffeine.
Hammer, we don't have time for a guided tour around here. Those delinquents will see the inside of this precinct soon enough. Get rid of them.
That's my boss, Captain Trunk. Now, you see how much he cares?
Okay, Hammer, we're real impressed. Can we go now?
Look, let's just get right down to it. Now, I got you guys pegged. You like shoving people around? You like driving crazy? Well, why not get paid for it? Consider a career in law enforcement.
Us? Cops? Cops is jerks.
Jerk? No, look. You don't understand. You eat free in restaurants. You never have to stop for a red light. You get to meet lots of interesting people and put them in a chokehold.
Spare us, Hammer. We got our own career plans.
Yeah, I know about your career plans. You think you got a future with Roscoe? That's right. I know about him. I know a lot about him. And he's cheating you guys.
What are you talking about?
Duro?
Roscoe, his assets include Swiss bank accounts, luxury condos in Maui, and the upcoming plot lines on Dallas. He gets you to steal a car for $500, then he turns around and sells it for $5,000.
Yeah. You're some smart guys, all right.
Can we leave now? I gotta go to church. It's my turn to steal the collection plate.
You kids will never learn.
You know what we just learned, Mr. Roscoe? You've been cheating us. We ain't no dummies, you know. You're dealing with the deucers. We don't need you. You're out. Guess we got an education from Hammer after all.
Hey, this is the first time we ever stripped a cop car. What color should we paint it?
Yellow.
Yellow? Yeah. Well, if it isn't Turk and the Deuces.
Mr. Roscoe, I told you our business with you is finished.
But my business with you isn't. All right, boys, lock all the doors. Nobody cuts me out of the action. It sets a bad example. Then I have to make an example. For example, you. Boys.
Against the wall. Come on. Move it.
Wait a minute. Mr. Roscoe, what is this?
St. Valentine's Day is going to be a little early this year.
Turk, do something.
Look, Mr. Roscoe, can't we have another chance?
Forget it, Turk. I was going to get rid of you and your gang sooner or later anyway. I can always find some other dumb kids to work cheaper for me.
But you said you could always use us.
And we are. We're going to use you for target practice.
Maybe we should have listened to Inspector Hammer.
Shut up! Let him have it.
Hold it, Roscoe! These kids are under my personal supervision.
It's Sledgehammer!
Waste him!
Huh? That's 7 years bad luck. Didn't I tell you kids it would lead to this, huh? Didn't I?
Yeah, you told us.
See how exciting police work can be? You see? See the fun I'm having? Now, where else can you get paid for work like this? No, it's more than a job. It's an adventure. Get out!
He's over there.
I know!
Whoa. Look out, Hammer! Looks like he wants to play chicken.
What are the rules of chicken?
First one to turn away is chicken.
I love a challenge. Competition always brings out the best in a person.
Roscoe's got a car, and you don't.
He cheats at everything.
Aren't you afraid of dying?
I don't know. I've never tried it before. I guess this is my final exam. Well, if I don't pass, it's goodbye, Mr. Chips.
Sorry, pal. Joyride's over.
All right, book him on car theft, racketeering, and a failure to yield the right of way.
I was scared, Hammer. I was really scared. I mean, you was right all along. I was only acting tough because inside I was afraid.
Hey. Enough vulnerability.
I'm taking your advice, Officer Hammer. When I graduate, I'm enrolling in the police academy. I'm going to be a police officer, just like you.
I wouldn't mention this to Captain Trunk.
For now, the least we could do is put your car back together for you. Show 'em, boys.
Well, that's a nice gesture. Isn't that nice, Hammer?
Darn it. Now what have you do-gooders done to my car?
What's the matter? It looks nice for once.
It just doesn't feel right. There's something missing. That's better.
You know, Hammer, I think you're right. Wasn't there a dent here?
Thank you, Duro. Now, that's me.
Yeah, I thought so.
This is Alan Spencer talking to you about the episode All Shook Up, and we're looking at our credit sequence again. This is the third commentary I've done, so I'm trying to think of different things to talk about while the credits are on. I actually got an email from a fan who was deaf, who appreciated that the show was originally closed caption when it was broadcast, and I guess he liked reading the word bang a lot. Speaking of banging, I wonder if they closed caption adult discs. I was at the video store and they have all the X-rated discs and everything. I wonder if those are closed caption, if that's necessary. Because if they are, I'm curious how they spell words like ooh and ah and ha, things like that, kind of, in heavy size. There's Dan Rashi picking up his gun. Now, this episode, All Shook Up, is obviously about Elvis. And the reason that I did an episode about Elvis is because I was a good friend of the late comedian Andy Kaufman. Why they call people who died late, by the way, I guess it's because they're always late for appointments after they die. But Andy Kaufman is gone. But Andy introduced me into the realm of Elvis because Elvis was, because at that time was kind of kitschy and I didn't take seriously. But if you really sit down and watch Elvis's work, Elvis is quite amazing. It's really a sad thing that Elvis didn't live, because I think he'd do incredible things right now, or at least he'd probably do infomercials. maybe for weight loss. There's a guy winning the Elvis contest. This episode was directed by Jackie Cooper, another one who might have known Elvis. He had some sort of affinity for the realm of Elvis. I enjoy this shot because it's very dramatic as a golden microphone fells an Elvis impersonator. And we shot this outside our office building, and we still went over budget as far as location, so I don't know how. There's the chalk outline, obviously, of Elvis, or an Elvis impersonator. And at the time doing this, there was not Honeymoon in Vegas and Flying Elvises and kind of the proliferation of Elvis impersonator jokes. I'm not saying I was ahead of the curve. What I'm saying is Andy Kaufman was ahead of the curve because he was doing Elvis long before the people, and Elvis Presley himself actually approved of Andy's version of Elvis, the rockabilly. Andy was ahead of the curve in many ways because he, on the David Letterman show, was doing fistfights on talk shows long before Jerry Springer. He was certainly into wrestling long before WWF became a mainstream thing, wrestling women. And he was a great innovator. I'll never forget the time I went over to Andy's house and watched about 3,000 hours of the People's Court. He was into that too. Here's a shot at the morgue showing all the dead Elvises lined up there. The Elvis estate, and I'll talk about that later, was very upset about this episode. And that meant I did my job because I love to upset people. This gentleman right here, his name is Kurt Paul. He's playing a coroner in the show, and he became a regular in the coroner's name was Norman Bates. It was a parody of the film Psycho and the character of Norman Bates. The film Psycho is one of my favorite chick flicks. I always watch on Valentine's Day. And as a joke, we offered the part to Anthony Perkins, who had a great sense of humor and actually was a Sledgehammer fan. And he said, why don't you use this guy, Kurt Paul? And Kurt Paul is Anthony Perkins, was his understudy and his stand-in. He said, this is next best thing to using me. So Kurt came down, was a delightful, offbeat person, and every good cop show needs a good coroner, so he made Kurt a recurring character. And Kurt was a very smart actor because he'd compliment me a lot. And if you do that, that means you do get, reoccurring parts, and eventually you will star in your own show if you compliment enough writer-producers. So that's to all the actors listening. That's a bit of a hint. David is eating, of course, in this scene because he's showing respect for the dead. And whenever you go into a morgue, you should always eat. I don't know, I think they put commissary in morgues now. And I think they have at least a Starbucks in the morgue.
Would you please stop eating?
He's eating sushi, and of course Anne-Marie is reprimanding him.
You're right.
But
You're absolutely right.
I did hear from somebody from the Elvis estate when this was announced, protecting the image of Elvis, and he claimed he was Colonel Parker. He called on the phone, he called the office, and was screaming at the top of his lungs about this whole thing. Now, he could have been a Colonel Parker impersonator. I don't know if it really was the same Colonel Parker, but it sure sounded like him, and he kept saying, get dang you boy, get dang you. And I tried to explain to him that, no, this is very respectful, that I loved Elvis, and this was not casting aspersion towards Elvis, that this was... the idea of Elvis impersonators being killed is a very serious crime. It happens every day, and so I was just trying to, do my part and do preventive measures to teach people about how to protect themselves. If you're an Elvis impersonator, you got to be very careful walking to your car, because it's very, very dangerous to be going around that outfit. So here's David being irreverent and looking for yet another way to hurt a superior officer. We come up with different ways. We did a paper airplane before. There's a rubber band. And look, we don't show that result because we trust the audience intelligence. By him touching his nose, I think it made it clear he was hit.
Any leads?
So one of the joys of looking at this, in particular this scene, is when this episode aired, it was one of the early ones, and it was highly promoted. The show had a laugh track, and thanks to a very talented man, George Boris, the laugh track is gone from this show. And so I'm just thrilled to be looking at it. But the timing of the scenes, if you notice kind of little pauses and things like that, is because we had to accommodate, and that's a word I really hate, accommodate the laugh track, because the network felt very secure and very strong about it. I told them once, it sounds like people in the precinct are laughing at what's being said. It's just, where are these people coming from that they're laughing? And one of the most offensive things about a laugh track is that it's macaque. I don't know how long those were recorded. I think they were recorded during the McCarthy era from the 50s. And so these people could be gone. It's like dead people laughing. Just like, dead men walking, it's dead men laughing. So, to me, it's tragic. If somebody is watching this and can recognize that laugh and it's somebody gone, they'd be depressed. The laugh track defeats the purpose, actually, because it's a chorus of it. It could make someone start crying, actually. So This is a surprise cameo, by the way. This is Jay Leno. I don't know if you realize that. No, it isn't actually, but I thought that looking later at at this. It was interesting because when we were casting it, we were trying to cast Elvis impersonators. It didn't really look right, which is something part of the plot. This is an actress who screams for a living. I believe her name Vivica Parker, let off a blood-curdling yell. We were shooting that very late at night, and we did take after take after take, and no one called the police. Nobody complained because we shot in Los Angeles, where people scream every day.
What's shaking?
And, they obviously assumed that she was in a relationship or something, and that's why she was screaming. She was clearly not in danger. This is Hammer there threatening her and wants to beat her up, and then realizes that she's not a suspect, that she's a witness. He gets confused sometimes. It happens, because cops drink a lot of coffee and high edge, and, it's a difficult job to do. Whenever I hear about somebody being accidentally shot or anything by a cop, I go, that happens.
Well, I think we finally have a
I could understand it, believe me. And, if I got shot by a car accident, I'd understand. I go, I understand where you're coming from, It's a tough job you do. Actually, this episode was just kind of, a one-joke premise that all you had to do is really follow with normal procedural kind of police work. And here are suspects. Since we established it was another, Elvis impersonator doing it, and we made a joke about That's Incredible. The show that was a show that was on ABC at the time, where people would come on and show that they could swallow their whole fist.
Well, which
and
one?
I don't know, put Ritz crackers in their ears, and they'd say That's incredible. TV was better then, wasn't it? Don't you miss shows like that? What was interesting about this police lineup is we had a guy that came in from Vegas who was like the premier Elvis impersonator standing in there. Also, one of the things that happened is we couldn't use Elvis songs. So that guy looks like Huey Lewis, I always thought. We couldn't use Elvis songs, so people just had to kind of like hum and riff and do things like that. And it wasn't just because of the cost of using Elvis songs that they didn't dig that we were doing this. So that's why he's just acting ridiculous. But the next gentleman you're going to see came in from Las Vegas. He was the premier Elvis impersonator at that time. His girlfriend was a Marilyn Monroe impersonator. So that was particularly surreal. And he was really great. And he was really in the character. Like he met with Jackie Cooper and he was like, Mr. Cooper, thank you very much. How do you do, sir? And he had like a whole demeanor. Part of his impersonation was to always act like Elvis with his courtesy. Yes, sir. How you doing, sir? With pleasure. And you give him a compliment. Thank you. And it was neat to see him on the set with the Marilyn Monroe impersonator. I went up and tried to do an impression of JFK, and it didn't work on her. I wanted to see how she'd respond to that. Here we are at the end of Act 1,
Captain, we got our
where
man.
Anybody who watches a lot of TV is going to figure out what a shock that Hammer is now going to go undercover to try to catch an Elvis impersonator. So what was interesting is that David, kind of like me at the time, when Andy first introduced me to Elvis, didn't think twice about Elvis. He just thought of the parody of Elvis and the kitsch factor of Elvis. So David studied Elvis movies, and particularly the shining moment of Elvis, which is the concerts that are filmed, and came away just as indoctrinated as I did with Elvis, and such a fan. I think he watched the 68 comeback special, which is just amazing. Here's, of course, an infomercial for the famous Elvis School, where people go. It doesn't really exist, but maybe it does. Maybe it does. There could be a place, certainly like this, where people learn to go and do Elvis. If there isn't, they should do it. It'd be a good business. Just like one, they used to probably have a school for people who impersonate Michael Jackson. I think they still have that school, but it has bars in every room. And rubber walls. So here's a moment of a relationship between Anne-Marie and David, which is something the network wanted always to keep alive, the relationship between these two characters. They wanted more of it than we probably gave, because I was young and immature and also very focused on trying to sustain the comedy and wild and wacky ideas. And this is called a quiet moment. Obviously, if you watch the show, quiet was not an operative word in my vocabulary at that time. But this is a nice moment between the two of them. Anne-Marie looks particularly pretty, as usual. And David plays these moments quite well. A little calm, a little pause before we go into absurdity. Unlike other couples, I don't know, people always want to know, couples on TV, will they get together, will they won't? People weren't really pressing for that on this show, which is the reason I didn't mind that deeper. But in the second season, we certainly got into this kind of stuff. So, I don't know. romantic tension. I mean, the romantic tension was between
Make sure my
Hammer and his gun.
transmission gets rebuilt.
I mean, that's what I kept thinking about as I watched the show, whether he's going to fully commit to marrying the gun. But I think that's not legal in the state of California, but it's legal in Arizona. And of course, this is the famous school of Elvis impersonators. That made me laugh when I saw this because it's done so seriously. I mean, it's a science. And I remember I gave a note, which they did, and I can't tell you why I gave this note. It was important to me that David not have an Elvis wig, that he still be Sledge in an Elvis jumpsuit. I want him still to be Sledge. He looks really cool, doesn't he? He looks like... they made that movie with Kevin Costner and Kurt Russell, and I was trying to figure out the name of it, where they were Elvis impersonators who did a bank robbery, and for the life of me, I cannot remember that. And they show it on HBO every 3 seconds, just like they do HBO movies. If you all the time, the same movie over and over and over again. Like, for a month, they were showing a Pippi Longstockings movie, and I wound up learning it by heart because they showed it over and over again. I remember when I tried to cancel HBO because they kept showing the same. They said, "Don't you like Pippi Longstockings?" So they were aware of it too.
This guy's really out to lunch.
Yeah, David is so cool. It's always fun to have a character in a classroom acting irreverent because it's certainly something we can all relate to. This is what I was like in school, not in Elvis school, but I was always getting in trouble. Always had a smart mouth. I remember when the teacher told me in front of the whole class, this was in I think it was the 5th grade, she said, "You make me grind my teeth at night, Mr. Spencer." And I said, "Really, while they're soaking?" And I got applause. Class laughed. I got sent to the principal's office. It was all right because it was on a big laugh. So here he's being challenged, David, by this teacher for his insolence. And he's going to try to see if he has the stuff to even be in the class. When he's asking him to dance. And I've talked before about David's talents as an actor, and David is very good physically. I mean, you give him challenges. The thing about David Rashi, which is unique and why he's a special talent, is there's literally nothing he can't do as an actor. You can write an accent or an impersonation or anything. He will go to work and be able to achieve it. And that's why he's a very singular talent, and that's why he's the only person who could play Sledgehammer. It helps the writers. It helps your imagination to have a man who can do anything you give him. Now here he gets angry, and whenever Hammer's angry, he's able to achieve things. And so he starts showing off that he can dance. What I enjoyed about this is that there's a little bit of Steve Martin happy feet that starts breaking into this. A little bit more Steve Martin than Elvis. But Steve Martin and Elvis, to me, go hand in hand in American culture. And David is all really doing this. That's some great choreography there. That's hard to do, foot after foot. I can't tell if it's aerobics or dancing. But, and of course, anything involving Hammer involves a degree of violence and someone getting hurt, because that's so funny to me. And that's a stunt, man. Don't worry, we did not hurt an extra. Yes, that was particularly violent and gratuitous, and that's why I enjoyed it. But watch how David hops on the desk. See, I mean, that's just really great. And the thing about doing TV real fast, there's not a lot of time to plan that. He only had like a couple minutes to come up with that, and he did a great job. So he's a talented guy. Now, this scene caused an uproar. This was me at my most adolescent in Jejune. When this show was airing originally on ABC Network in 1986, it aired on a Friday night at 9. They called it TGIF. Thank God it's Friday, I guess. Which to me is inappropriate for anything on TV. They shouldn't use God as far as any sitcoms in a row. I mean, they're trying to do TGIF again now. And it should be Father Forgive Them. They put on crap. That's what they should call TV. But the show preceding us was called Mr. Belvedere. And I started a feud between the show Mr. Belvedere and ours because I took a shot at it. I remember as a kid I watched Get Smart. They used to make fun of Lawrence Welk. And I didn't like somebody associated with Mr. Belvedere. That was part of the reason behind it, so I took a shot. Even David couldn't figure out what was going on. He goes, "Why are we making fun of Mr. Belvedere?" So I put it down and did a joke here. And it was funny because the Mr. Belvedere show was taping, and they would watch their show on an East Coast feed, and they were eating their dinner, and then Sledgehammer came on, that joke came on, and they went crazy, and it started a war between the show's complaints, network calls, and of course, being a petulant kid, I just put more Mr. Belvedere jokes, and I just started going after it everywhere I could, and then they tried to go after us, and I don't know, that's just what I'm about. But, I really hated the show, so that's why I was doing those jokes. It just was, it used to come on, and it made me faint how bad it was. David is number 6, and that's an allusion to The Prisoner for Patrick McGowan, who was number 6. That's why I put that in. You know what? I always wonder here when I look at that. Here's an extra, and he does a little bit. Whatever happens to those people, I wonder what that guy's doing now. I look at people who do little bits and little moments, and I wonder, where are they at? So I'm probably going to hear from them all now. I think they're going to ring my doorbell, and all the extras from the show will be on my front lawn. They're going to move in. Now, at the time, also on this Friday, we were scheduled against Miami Vice and Dallas, two of the most popular shows at the air. So David makes a joke between who are the contestants I'm between, a guy from Dallas and Miami, and he said, well, what an awful place for me to be. So that was me sending a signal to the network, get me out of here. But oddly enough, that was a time slot that worked for us because we were expected to do a single digit, an 8, and so we did 19, and then a 20, and we went up. And we had a loyal following and had the demographics. Jackie Cooper shot this exactly the way he saw an Elvis concert movie. This is exactly how they would angle Elvis coming from backstage and coming on stage. So, and you know what? Jackie Cooper does a cameo in there, the director of this episode. And you'll recognize him because he's a recognizable person, certainly, from movies and TV. So I will point out when you see him. He's one of the people booing Sledgehammer. And he liked David a lot, too. There he is. He's wearing the sunglasses there, and he has a beer in his hand. He was just doing that in character. I don't want you thinking he was drinking beer while he was directing. So he was a very responsible person that way. Though there are a lot of people that drink and direct. They should do that instead of drink and direct, don't drink and direct, because there are plenty of movies I've seen where I could say, that guy is drinking too much. So, but then I did drink when I wrote this, so yes, now Hammer is being pelted by these disrespectful people. I always laugh at the reaction shots when David does something, when he shoots off that gun, and when he grits his teeth. Anne Marie just cracks me up. Nobody rolls her eyes, the eyes like her all the time. Now, this is David improving kind of Elvis riffs because we couldn't use an Elvis song. So, David has a Second City background, so he just came up with some gobbledygook that sounds like Elvis, just going, But there was an Elvis song, one that we could use, because I always loved when Elvis would sing Battle Hymn of the Republic, and that is public domain. So we were able to use that song, and that's what he's doing here as he goes into the Glory, Glory, Hallelujah. I'd always get chills when I'd hear Elvis do that. And, David rehearsed and sings this reverentially, really trying to sell this Elvis thing so he can win the contest and lure the killer. And it was really neat to hear him do this because, all through this episode, I wasn't hearing singing. I was just hearing people, it sounded like bizarre Elvis speech impediments. They couldn't put the words together. And obviously the people are responding to it. It was funny, too, to have the people in the country western bar, they're moved to tears. They're crying by this. But you know what? I mean, when Elvis really does this, I defy you to make fun of Elvis. You can't laugh at the real thing. That's what makes a legend most. Watching Elvis concert movie, he does this. It's pretty amazing. I could see why people are certainly into Elvis to this day. It's pretty phenomenal. I'm a huge fan. I listen to him all the time. I love to play Burning Love on Hanukkah. I don't know why, but it just... I don't know. So, Nessie, you have to flip somebody as well, too. And Hammer had a catchphrase, when he would do that, saying that was reflex. And, of course, you watch David's lip because he's staying in the Elvis character. So when he says, I'm sorry, that was reflex. He does it just like Elvis would. So we're at a plot point here. And, start of the TV show, you got to milk what he won, which he's certainly doing. We're milking it. It was like a dairy at that moment, how much we milked it.
Well, I've done my part.
So, and now we're going to lure the killer of the Elvis impersonators and learn the reason behind it, as you do at the end of any cop show. I was always really proud of the fact that how much plot we could work into, like 22 minutes or so that they gave us with the show. And now TV shows run even less than that. They sometimes are running like 18 or 17 because they add more bumpers and commercials and updates. Eventually, sitcoms, I think in about 5 years, will run 3 minutes.
Matter, man?
I think that's what they will. Minus the credits will be 1 minute.
I don't need your kind of praise, ringworm.
That'll probably be a good thing then, because then there'll be more programming on, because they'll have about, 80 shows on a night that you could watch in 3 hours. And it'll help the attention span. Obviously, now they've busted somebody. They thought they caught the guy. Hammer makes some comment about, I'm going to go have a soda pop or a root beer. It was the network censors for some reason. They didn't want the characters drinking alcoholic beverages. Which was absurd. But, this was a different age now. Now that the characters drink the beverages while they're driving on the shows, they don't care. But here's the reveal of who the killer is. This actor's name is Raymond Ma. And at this time, it was unusual to have an Asian
thanks
Elvis
a lot,
impersonator.
bro. Like, I really need
He's
you
an
to tell
interesting
me
man because he came up and thanked me for the part because he said that, there's
buddy, just who the
limitations
heck do you think you are?
on minority members and various people of what they get to play on TV. And he would always have to play the same sort of parts that we see all the time that are called, quote unquote, a stereotype. So this was delightful for him to do something this wacky and have some fun. He said, I'm having so much fun. And I said, well, that's great. That made me happy.
But that still doesn't explain why you chose not to waste me.
This has a line in here that people quoted a lot to me of an Asian Elvis, an impersonator who's jealous of all the other people. I was in the UK where Sledgehammer is very popular, and people over there were quoting this line where he says, I can do Elvis more efficiently than any of you. So that was the line that people remembered from this. He delivered it with such conviction, too. I mean, he's very serious about what he's doing here and his outrage that he never got a shot at doing Elvis. And now we have our obligatory action scene.
Consider yourself under arrest.
This just cracked me up. I don't know. It just looks so absurd. The obligatory fight between the hero and villain. And Anne-Marie gets kicked, of course, and knocked out of commission. But, this fight was just so intense and the choreography of it. And, with martial arts, I mean, it was just surreal. This is just surreal. I just enjoy this, and it ends in a very sick and twisted way, which I also enjoyed. And here he says goodbye, Sledgehammer, and gets electrocuted. And look at those cutting-edge special effects now. Doesn't that look so realistic? It looks like a donut sign glowing. And then, steam comes in. He falls down and dies. And that, once again, I got in trouble a little bit from the censor. I told him that he didn't die. We never said he was dead. Now, to me, I think he's dead, but I just say he's asleep. So please, because anytime anybody would die in the show, it would cause trouble with sponsors and things like that. Because most people just don't die in sitcoms.
That was the worst high note I ever
Though there's some where I
heard.
see actors dying every week, but, that's something else. That's their careers. Here's the tag of the episode. It's just a riff of expected Elvis. Sometimes the story's over and you had to do a tag, and it's just like there's nothing really inspired to do. And here's an instance of that, just some Elvis riffs. But I'm very fond of this episode because it makes me think of Andy Kaufman, who is my friend, who I miss a lot. I met him when I was a kid, working on the Paramount lot as an apprentice writer. That was a writer trainee, which means you worked on the shows and you got to learn. I was 15, and they paid you in butter and shards of glass, not in money. But Andy was doing the show Taxi nearby, and we became friends. And the key to Andy's personality, I never forgot when he showed me a tabloid article about him. He said, look what they wrote about me. This is awful. And I read it, and it was horrible. And I said, Andy, God, where did they get that from? He goes, from me. I told them. So that was the key to Andy's personality. He was a really, really neat guy, and I miss him a lot. I'm so glad he introduced me to Elvis Presley. So this is my little tribute to the Man in the Moon, Andy. And if you could see it somewhere, I don't know, maybe he's somewhere watching People's Court over and over again. That's a day that I certainly remember. So that's the commentary, and all shook up. I talked nonstop for 22 minutes, which is something I normally do with my mother on the phone. So I did it with you. But I have one more to do on this set. So you'll hear from me again in a bit.
তোরা করে কোথাও মারতে পারবি না রে তোরা খালি পারবি আমার পেছন দিয়ে গুলি করতে তোরা কিচ্ছু করতে পারবি না কেউ বলে ধরতে আসবি না
No, I stopped getting it in the morning after my neighbor quit having it delivered.
আমি ফাঁসির মঞ্চেও আমার সীমা টান কইরা
It's been leaked to the press that Captain Trunk is going to testify against the narcotics syndicate Thursday.
You know, that's what I hate about the newspapers in this country. They find out things, and then they write about it.
কি হয়েছে ভাই আমার
Press, it's
Hammer, now that the syndicate has this information, they'll do anything to keep Trunk quiet.
Yeah, fat chance he's louder than most airports.
Hammer!
See what I mean?
লাগবো কি করছ
Hammer, the commissioner wants to talk to us. I put him on the speakerphone.
Hello, can everyone hear me all right?
Yes, we can hear you.
And Hammer, are you there?
Yo.
Move over.
Yes, sir. How far?
Not you, Hammer. I'm talking to my driver. I'm calling from my car phone. Hammer, needless to say, I'm livid about today's press leak.
Yes, I am too, sir.
Could you please slow down?
I am too, sir.
Not you, my driver. With the syndicate alerted to Captain Trunk's court appearance Thursday, it's imperative he be placed under your protective custody until then.
Are you talking to me or to the driver?
Your custody hammer. This is one
পুকুরের মাছ
instance
বেঁচে
where a
খাইতেছে
man like you is perfect for this assignment. No.
ওই শালির ঘরে শালি আমারে বাপ তুইলা গালি দিছিল
Wait, just
ওই
let me
আমারে
get this
কয়
straight. I am in charge
আমি
of the
মিলু
captain, right?
নাকি কিছু না আমি নাকি ফাঁকা আমি কিচ্ছু করতে পারবো না এবার প্যাডের মধ্যে কিনে করবো প্যাডে পারা ধরে কমু এই দেখ এই শালি দেখ আমি মিলু কি করতে পারি তোর তো খাই দিলাম এই কি করছিস কি করতে পারছস চলো আমি
What can I say?
কি চিয়া বলিস তুমি গুলি দেওয়া পেলে
Excuse me, Captain Trump. You're needed to check the supplies in room number.
আরে লাগবো না
Yeah, very
গোলাগুলির খেলায়
Right behind you,
খুব
Captain.
খুব প্লেয়ার পছন্দ হয়েছে আপনি জানেন
I'm a grown man. I can take care of myself
Fine.
just fine. Thank you.
Captain, be reasonable. Hammer's under the direct orders of the commissioner.
I don't give a damn about any orders. Be surprised if I turn in my badge after Thursday.
Think he's serious?
Well, I think he must be. He has no sense of humor.
Well, the captain's got his pride, but I'm more concerned about his safety right now.
Will you relax? He's with two cops who both have looters, which aren't regulations.
Why you yogurt?
কিছু করতে পারবি না আমায় আর নীলুর সামনে আয় বাইরো পিছন দিয়ে পাওয়ার পথ নেই বাইরো
সাহস থাকলে ভিতরে এসে দিয়ে যা দেখি কত বড় বাপের পোলা হইছ
You scum desecrate this symbol of law and order. Also makes me sick because you look good in uniforms.
কিরে কই গেলি রে তোরা
Those assassins really roughed you up, sir.
মায়ের
They didn't
দুধ
lay a
খাতে
finger on
সামনে
me.
আই
Hammer
জানোয়ারের বাচ্চাগুলা
Well, you may be hard-pressed to admit it, sir, but Hammer did save your life.
Yes. Thank you, Hammer. You saved my life.
I'm sure you didn't say to me, sir.
বাস দিছি
You wish.
Thank you.
আগাই কি শুনলে
Under the
Okay.
circumstances, sir, I think it's important that you check into a hotel.
Well, now you're giving me orders, Doro. I'm gonna live my life as usual, and that means meeting my ex-wife for dinner tonight as planned.
বুঝে
Look, it's
তুই ঠিক
taken a lot
হইছিস
of effort to get that woman to even
ছোটবেলা মায়ের
talk
দুধ
to
খেতে
me.
পারি নাই
For 6 months, she refused to accept my phone calls.
Well, I can understand that, sir. She's probably afraid you'll hurt her ears.
একদম ঠিক কথা
Sir, if
বলছিস
you insist on keeping this
Pobre
engagement, then we'll be
Ihinala
obligated
Allah.
to accompany you.
Don't worry. You
তোরা
won't
করে
even
কোথাও
know I'm
মারতে
there.
পারবি না রে তোরা খালি পারবি আমার পেছন দিয়ে গুলি করতে তোরা কিচ্ছু করতে পারবি না
Listen, I figured that for us,
তোরে
the subtle
তোরে এনে মারব
differences
না
we meet face to face.
তোরে ধরে যাবো হাত পা পান মু
Tactic?
মাগুর মাছে পুকুরে ফালামু
There you go again.
আমরা দুই ভাই চেয়ারে
Nothing's
বমু
changed.
দেখবো তোর
Even when
মাছ
you're
কেন
off
চিচে
duty,
চিচে
you
খাই
speak like a
এই
policeman.
ভাইজান আপনি তো ভালো কথা মনে করছেন আরে মাগুর মাছটি ও গায়ে চিমায় রইছে পরে যে তাজা মাংস পায় না
Policemen are the furthest thing from my mind.
All right, this
আর তো
sucker's
হোক না
secured.
তো মাংস কম
Everything's okay.
সমস্যা নাই ওরা ছেড়া দিই মাগুর মাছ খুঁজলে পড়তে মাংস আর ওর একটু ভালো করে আর শক্ত করে বাঁধ দিস ওর তো আবার
Excuse me.
ওর শরীরে না
New restaurant policy.
শিং মাছের মতো তেল
I
তেল
can't let you eat anything unless I've tasted it first.
করলে
আয় কেউ মানে ধরতে আসবি না
He's Pepper.
আমি শিউলি
Who is that man?
আমি ফাঁসির মঞ্চে আমার সিনা টান কইরা খারায়
Ignore him.
ও
What is this? Why did
নীলু
you ask me out
ভাই
tonight?
বাইরে আমার
Because I want you back in my life.
ওই তো একলা মরতে চায় না
Honey,
আর
be realistic.
ও সঙ্গী সাথে লিয়া
You're
মরতে
not
চায়
the same man I
আলসার
married. You've changed.
আলসার ছাড়া মরবো না
Ever
না
since you became captain of
হ্যাঁ
that
তাই
precinct,
চলে যা
something has
আমি আলসারে নিয়ে
turned you
গেছি
into
আলসার
a
কো
bitter, angry man.
Contingency
What
det
did it
redan.
to you?
করবো সুন্দর করে খুঁজে আনতেছি যা লয়ে যা আপনি কি একলা থাকবেন আমি কি একলা আছি
Renee, I had
I
made a
just-
choice
ওস্তাদ আছে
between
না
my career and being married.
ওই নে
Lately, I have
আগাই
been questioning
যা যা
that decision vehemently.
Are you saying that you regret giving up our marriage for your career?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
আমি এইখানে আজকে
Oh,
আমার
bro, you
মেয়ের
gotta get
খাতা
fucking
বিলাইছি রে মিলো
I'm gonna be sick.
তোর এই খেলনার পিস্তলের সামনে দাঁড়াইছে না যদিও আসল নকল কোনো পিস্তল নেই টিক্কা ডরায় না
thought you
আমি
didn't
তোর
know this.
পুলিশের হাতে তুলে দিছিলাম
One of my men.
ভাবছিলাম আইন তোর বিচার করব
Good cover.
কিন্তু তুই আইনের চোখ ফাঁকি দিলেও টিক্কা রোবার্ট ট্রাম্পে ফাঁকি দিতে পারেন না মিলু
But just one
Okay. Why are you doing this? Because I care.
Captain, we'll stay in here so you two can have a moment alone.
Great idea!
I'm going in that room to be with the woman I love. Do you understand? Let's go.
চোখের সামনে যে জমদারে খাড়ায় থাকতে দেখতেছ
Here. I am going in
তার
there.
পরিচয় আবার
If you
দেই
come in there, I will
আমি
kill
ট্রেনে চাই পাই গ্রামে আসা একটা পোলা ভাসমান ভেলা নাম হইছে টিক্কা যে ট্রাম্পে খেলে না ওভার ট্রাম্পের প্লেয়ার
Hammer, he's not in any danger. He used to be married to that woman.
কিন্তু ওটার কাজ
Anybody who's alone with his ex-wife is in danger.
তুই আমার দিকে পিস্তল তাক
It's
করছিলি
quiet in there.
কাঁপতে কাঁপতে ট্রিগার চাপতে ভুলে গেছিলি মনে আছে
Get out of this.
আমি এইখানে আজকে মালিক ভাইয়ের খাতা খুলাইছি রে মিলো তোর এই খেলনার পিস্তলের সামনে দাঁড়াইতে না যদিও আসল নকল কোনো পিস্তল নেই টিক্কা ডরায় না আমি তোর পুলিশের হাতে তুলে দিছিলাম
When will you ever learn?
ভাবছিলাম আইন তোর বিচার করব
Moment for the captain.
কিন্তু তুই আইনের চোখ ফাঁকি দিলেও টিক্কা রোবার্ট ট্রাম্পে ফাঁকি দিতে পারিনি না মিলু
তারপর দিয়ে ভাই ঘনাগুলি বেড়া তা ফাড়াই দে এখন তুই ফাটার আগে ভাই সালাম দিয়ে সংস্থা কি করছে নাম কি টিক্কা একদম সামনে আবি চাপিসে যা যা
Stay here tonight with Mrs. Trunk. I'm gonna move the captain
মরার
to the only
সাহস
safe
তোর নাই
place
রে
in the
মিলু
city.
Where's that?
নিজের হাতের
My
দিকে
apartment.
তাকায় দেখ কাঁপতাছে জোরে ধমক দিলে এখনই পিসাব করে দিবি
টিক্কা ভেতর করে লাভ নাই শিলে পাড়াই দিতেছে শিলে যাও তোলাকে পরে বলবো শিলে যাও গা
শিউলি তুমি এখন যাও
Well, Captain, this is where I
যেখানে
crash every
খুশি
night.
সেইখানে যাও
What do you think?
এই টিক্কা তোমারে খুঁজে আনি
Hammer,
তোমার
I'm
বাড়ির
exhausted.
সামনে আমারে গুলি
Get a
করছিল
good night's sleep and insult you in the morning.
মিলু করে নাই অন্য নিজেই দৌড়ের উপরে আসছিল
Captain, are you really serious about giving up
পুলিশেও
your
করে
career just
নাই
to get back with your ex-wife?
বাকি থাকলা তুমি
It's disgusting.
আনসার
Real
Are you
men
dealing?
don't need women.
এই হিসাব পরে মিলামো
Without women,
আজকা
you would never have
মালিক
been born.
ভাইয়ের হিসাব ক্লোজ করুন মেলো তুই এক পাও লড়বি না মিলুর সাথে যারা মরতে চাও তারা থাকো
Shut up.
শুনি তুমি যাও
Maggot, I'm gonna take you in. I'm gonna floss your teeth with a crowbar.
দেখছস
Do what?
টাকা দিয়া পোলাপান বুঝলে কেমনে ভাইগা যায়
Sometimes I
ফালায়া
arrest people
ভাইগা
in my
গেছে
sleep, sir.
দেখ টিক্কা
বাইক না টিক্কা কই তুমি
First thing in the morning, life's in danger. You beat me up in the closet, ruined my evening with my ex-wife, and on top of that, you destroy half her house.
Yeah, we had fun today.
ঘোষণা দিতে কইলো তুমি নাকি আশেপাশেই আসো আসো
টিক্কা অনেক দিন পর রক্তের সম্পর্ক আরো খুঁজে পাইলি এই রক্তের খেলা বন্ধ বেরা তোর সম্পর্কে জায়গা বড় কথাই বলবো যাইতেছি কিন্তু তোর সাথে আমার হিসাব রয়ে গেল মেনু রয়ে গেল আরো অনেক কিছুই টিক্কার খেলা চলতেই থাকবো পরিবার থাকুক বা না থাকুক এই আবেগ শেষ হওয়া পর্যন্ত অপেক্ষায় থাক
The death of Captain Trunk is a tragic loss. But, words of the immortal Alexander Haig, as of now, I am in control. The captain will be interred in a private ceremony on Friday. Now, let us observe a moment of silence in his memory. That'll be all.
Can't believe it. He's gone. We failed. This is horrible.
I'm surprised at you crying at a time like this. You are a police officer. Act like one.
My God, don't you ever show any emotion?
Duro, I show a whole range of emotion. Anger, rage, hate. Hate?
How can you be so cold? He was our friend.
Yeah, but I take comfort in that he's in a better place now. Room 208, Municipal Hospital.
What?
Trunk is alive.
He's alive?
Shh! Enough happiness. He needs minor surgery. He has a bullet in his side. But he'll be ready to testify right on schedule. You see, I figured if those sleazoids thought he was dead, they'd stop trying to kill him.
Oh, why didn't you let me in on it?
I think that's obvious. You're a woman, and you have a phone.
Dr. Bernard?
Hold it right there. Why did the chicken cross the road?
To avoid the death penalty.
Go right in, Inspector.
Guess who thought up that password?
You?
You're no fun anymore.
Captain Trunk. Shh. This patient's going into surgery today. Don't disturb him unless it's absolutely necessary.
Trust me, I know what I'm doing. Captain? Captain, it's me. It's Hammer.
What have you done? Now I have to sedate him.
What are you doing here? I'm in enough pain already.
Captain, just calm down. I have news for you.
I've been killed?
Don't believe everything you read in the papers.
They'll never find me now.
Just as I'd planned. The press got us into this mess. I figured the least they could do was get us out. Nice irony, huh?
Hammer, this is brilliant.
And to top it all off, I just called your wife and told her not to worry. Everything's fine.
Of course, you didn't tell her that I was here.
No. Well, yes.
Hammer, at least you told her not to visit because the syndicate may be watching her.
Ah. Well.
Hammer. If she comes here, she will be followed, and I will be in danger again.
Captain Trunk, I'm sure if she were going to visit, she would have been here by now.
I'm his wife. Please. Oh, I'm sorry I'm so late. I came as soon as I could.
No, oh God, no.
Isn't that funny? That's what my wife used to say to me when I came home.
I thought you were a dead man.
Not yet, but very, very soon.
Is something wrong?
I am going to be killed. And you... Thanks for coming.
Better get you out of here.
Well, Captain, I guess it's just you and me against the whole stinking world, huh?
Hey! That cop wasn't here before.
Remember, he's one of us. He's one of us. He's a friend.
Get off of me. What's the matter? You crazy?
Yeah, some friend. He didn't even show up at the funeral.
medication. You'll have to leave now.
I'm afraid I can't do that. I have to screen everything that enters him.
If you insist.
Doctor, could I have a moment of your time? There's a telephone junction over there. Thanks for your time.
Hammer, aren't you done yet?
Well, this thing's clean.
Hammer.
Inspector, could I have a word with you? I'll be administering the anesthetic to Captain Trunk.
Hey, wait, not so fast. Let's see some ID. All right, sure, fine. That says you're a doctor. How can I be sure?
Check these out.
Oh, gold cards. He's for real.
We need a security check in the operating room. Follow me.
No, Hammer, go. I'll cover you here.
Captain, you're going to be just fine.
Yeah, until you get back. Doro, take this away, please.
Anything in particular you're worried about?
Huh. You.
Oh, where am I?
The X-ray room, Inspector Hammer.
My head, it feels like a speed bump.
Merely a concussion.
Oh, thank goodness. I was afraid I'd banged it.
Inspector, you've cost us quite a few men.
The way you slugs are moving, Trunk's gonna die of old age.
Trunk will not survive the afternoon. In a short time, he will receive an overdose of anesthetic. It will be considered a hospital error.
I'll never understand why you guys explain your whole plan before you kill somebody.
Don't tell me how to do my job, Inspector Hammer. As for you, you will now receive enough radiation for 1,000 lifetimes.
Captain Hammer's been gone a long time. Something must have happened to him.
Oh, thank you, Doro, for giving me a reason to live.
Turn me over. I'm done on this side.
What's going on?
Gotta save Captain Trunk. Then I'm gonna file one hell of a malpractice suit. Now help me out of here. Drop it! Drop it!
Perfect shot!
I was aiming for his head.
You'll never take me alive, Hammer.
That's just the way I like it.
Hammer. Hammer.
What is going on?
Hammer just knocked out your anesthesiologist, sir.
Oh.
No need to thank me, sir.
What about my surgery?
Captain, we cannot trust anyone. I'm afraid I'm going to have to remove the bullet.
Hammer, you can't do that. Hammer, you can't do it.
It's okay. I've done it before. On myself.
Oh, my God. Don't touch me.
Captain.
Congratulations on your testimony, Captain. It takes a brave man to stand up to the syndicate.
That's my job, Hammer. I'm a cop. Nothing can change that. I think my ex-wife understands that now. We're spending the weekend in Lake Tahoe.
It's romantic, sir. I guess she realizes there are worse things in life than being married to a cop.
Like being beat up by one.
Hello? Oh, yes, Commissioner. He's right here.
Inspector Hammer, I'd like to congratulate you on the job you did guarding Captain Trunk.
Well, I did save his life 4 times.
5. I count not performing that operation.
Thanks to Captain Trunk, a major blow has been dealt to the syndicate.
That's good to hear, sir.
It certainly is, but we're not out of the woods yet, so I think Hammer should protect Trunk for at least another month. Thank you, gentlemen.
I wonder if there's a rifle range in Lake Tahoe.